And then Morning, everybody, and welcome to June meeting of the Naugatuck+Valley Active Transportation Plan Project Advisory Committee. Let's do a quick introduction. We can go around the room first and then we'll go online. So my name is Kate Kipa and I am a transportation planner here at NVCOG. And then I'm also asking a question of everyone to think about and share your favorite walking, rolling, or biking trail. So think about that. And I'll just share, I really like the Farmington Canal Trail from New Haven to Southington. There's a lot of great stops off of it too, so it's a nice continuous trail. All right. Put along.
Oh, Paul Benevich, Watertown Town Engineer.
Do you have a favorite?
I do, yeah, I'm going through the ones in my mind. I was gonna say the Appalachian Trail up in Salisbury, but locally, there's a bunch of things in Roxbury I like. I mean, more hiking, the Mine Hill Trail, very interesting. So we got the old foundry and some humid days, there's this mine opening and this fog will come rolling out. They're very eerie kind of thing. I just love all the blue trails I like. So.
My name is Matthew Abbott. I'm with Intergovernmental Affairs Unit at CTDOT. My favorite trail is the Paquonic River Trail. I worked on it very briefly, and I had the pleasure of meeting a lot of good folks throughout that process.
Morning, everyone. My name is Ty Olale. I'm a transportation planner here at NVCOG. I kind of like the Derby Trail best. I like the views. I like seeing the train, the interface between people and machine, trains going by and things like that. So I kind of like that one best.
My name is Drew Backlick. I'm the Director of Municipal Affairs for NVCOG, and I am lucky enough to live on White Memorial property up in Morris. So everything and anything around that general vicinity, I love taking advantage of.
Aaron Butters, I'm the Environmental Planning Director here at NVCOG, and that's a really hard question because I got a lot of favorites. So my favorite one this week. So I also work on the Connecticut Trail Census program, and we've got counters all over the state on multi-use trails and a couple on sort of hiking trails. And we just installed one a couple weeks ago on the new section of Farmington Canal Trail in New Haven, which it's right near Grove Street is where the counter is, and it goes underground through an old rail tunnel. And it's very, very cool. And they've got this really cool interpretive signage inside the tunnel. It's very, very neat. So that's my favorite trail du jour, I guess.
Nice.
My name is Danny Thomas. I'm a GIS analyst here at NVCOG. My favorite trail is the Metabasset Trail. It's part of the New England Trail that runs from the coast of Connecticut all the way up to northern border of Massachusetts.
Nice. I'm Bridget Moriarty and I'm with the DOT Safer School program. And so I love a lot of trails, and this is hard, but I'm gonna say when I used to live in this area, and I was just talking to Roy Kavanaugh about it, was the Larkin State Trail. I trained for a marathon that I never did. I trained on that trail.
I'm Rich Donovan. I'm the Transportation Planning Director here. And I think my of the day, because like Aaron, there's a lot of really good ones, is the Shoreline Greenway Trail. Especially that segment that's done down in Madison is gorgeous, right on the shore. And I don't know that I have met a more enthusiastic group of volunteers than the Shoreline Greenway Trail Committee.
I'm Anthony Lagana. I just started at NVCOG as a transportation planner. Since I'm from Southington, I have to say the Farmington Canal Heritage Trail. It is just such an incredible asset. It goes right through our downtown section of Plantsville, right through our downtown section of Southington, goes all the way down to New Haven. Just perfect. So that's my number one.
Right.
Ezra?
I'm Desiree Blanchard, Communications and Community Engagement Coordinator here at NVCOG. And I'm also going to say Farmington Canal Heritage Trail is just the one I frequent the most, and I can just start in Cheshire and go anywhere.
All right, how about Ashlyn?
Hi, Hi, I'm Ashlyn. I am the Sustainable CT Summer Fellow. And I'm also going to say Farmington Canal. I live about a 5-minute walk from the trail, so it's one of my favorites.
Amy?
Hi, Amy Watkins from Watch For Me CT. I am also on the board of the Farmington Valley Trails Council, so I have to say that that's my favorite trail, but specifically on the upper part from Granby into Massachusetts. Thanks.
And Tucker.
Hey, Tucker Beckett. I'm a senior planner at WestCog. Lately I've been doing my daughter and I have been doing a lot of hiking on the Steel Brook Greenway over in Watertown. But I gotta say my favorite is the East Bay bike path in Rhode Island that runs all the way along the East Coast there.
Cool. All right. So this meeting, we do have a guest speaker, and we are very excited to have Bridget Moriarty. I do apologize for folks that maybe just did hear Bridget's presentation at our technical advisory committee meeting right before this one, but I think it is very, very pertinent, and we're happy to share this information with the folks here that haven't heard it and or reiterate it. So I will turn it over to Bridget.
All right, thanks, everyone. For those of you that already heard it, you can feel free to email or scroll on your phone. So you don't have to sit through this again, but I will make it brief because honestly, like I know Amy and she knows we work together. And so I'm pretty sure everyone's pretty familiar with the program Safe Versus School that operates out of the DOT, and we work with all 169 municipalities. And basically our goal is to get kids to walk and bike to school safely or roll. So next slide. And there's the 5 E's, there's actually 6. And when the new administration came in, I just took out the 6th one, but it still is been operating within our system, which is equity, but enforcement, evaluation, encouragement, and engineering. And the centerpiece of our current program is education. Next slide. So this is just an interactive map we have on our online showing you all the different activities we have around the state programs. So NVCOG is well represented. We see a little bit of gap, which we can increase for sure, especially with the micro grants, and hopefully increase applications for that component of the program. And we'll get to that in just a minute. So next slide. All right, so our main encouragement event is Walk Bike Roll to School Day. We just had 55 schools registered this year. It was very successful. I didn't talk about this last time, but this year we did a little different. We mailed incentives to participating schools. We had, what did we mail? We mailed stickers, and we mailed bike ABC Quick Check bookmarks. So successful year. We had kids walk, we had kids bike, we had a bike bus on the left in West Hartford that operates more often than Walk Bike Roll to School Day. But yeah, it was a success. So next slide. These are just some obstacles that I mentioned the last meeting that schools mention when they are hesitant to register for Walk Bike Roll to School Day, or to have any kids really walk or bike to school. And then solutions that we at Safe Routes offer, everything from education to walk audits to organizing and assisting and participating in walking school buses or bike buses. And next slide. This is a bike bus, as I told last class, East Hartford at Silver Lane Elementary, the start of this year. Hopefully, actually I did mention this last one, NCAT, which is the New Haven Coalition of Active Transportation, is planning on doing a bike bus webinar this summer. And I'm hoping to get this teacher, Leah Knapp, to attend, because there are a lot of hurdles at times in different schools with administration and how to navigate that, and also how to navigate everything from, involving police to parental permission to what if you don't have bikes. And one thing I didn't mention in the last meeting, because now I'm thinking of it, is a lot of these bikes were provided by Bikes for Kids, which is an organization out of Essex. It's a nonprofit. They have so many bikes. The facility is insane. It's all volunteer run, awesome group of people. Their bikes are all refurbished or new. A lot of them are donated through Zane's bike shop, I guess. Anyways, a lot of these bikes were donated by Bikes for Kids. Eligibility is based on needs and they do not deliver, so you have to pick them up, but they're awesome. So, and they accommodate, they've been such a great resource. And their biggest issue is they have so many bikes, they need to get these bikes to kids. So if you know even people in NVCOG area that are interested, it's not in your region, but, and next slide. Oh, and we have a bike bus guide on our website. We just put it up. So trying to get more schools to start these. These are our walk audits. We do walk audits around schools. We look at different routes. We observe arrival and dismissal operations, and then we come up with a report of recommendations to improve the circulation of arrival and dismissal, and also to make the routes safer, whether they're whether that's lower speeds or improve signage or getting a crossing guard. There's a and we, one thing I want to emphasize, and I didn't emphasize this last time, is we did one this year in New Haven, and it was completely different than one we did in East Adam. East Adam has no sidewalks. The kids do walk to school, but they have like mountain bike trails, and they have, they just acquired land, so they have trails that they're refurbishing, and they got a D grant to do it actually. And then New Haven completely opposite. So all of them benefit from these walk audits. Next slide. That's what a walk audit is, but knowing this crowd, we already know all this, so I'm not gonna go into all the details of it, as I already said, but you can always email me too if you have any questions. Next slide. More information, about walk audits, we do put them online. We now provide a PDF to the towns or the communities as well, and then we also put it onto a storyboard online. And next slide. Oh yeah, so infrastructure. So Kristen Levesque, who was the former coordinator, provided me with all this information about the connection between Safe Routes to School and funding opportunities for communities. And there's just some stats there showing that communities that have participated or are participating in Safe Routes to School programs, and then have projects, infrastructure projects around those schools, they're higher ranked, or they get points, so to say. So if it's a competitive grant to get funding, and here's so there's some stats on, or some numbers of communities that have received grants, whether it's CCGP or TAP funding or carbon reduction program or the TRIP program. So next slide. In this community or this region of NVCOG, Prospect received a transportation alternative grant in the 2025 round around Prospect Elementary School. So that's one sample. And then the next slide shows the carbon reduction program. None of them are in NVCOG, but there's 2 examples of projects near schools. Next slide. And then these are all the community connectivity grant programs that have been awarded around schools in NVCOG. So that's great for NVCOG. It's good to see. And next slide is education. This is our big push. We do bike and pedestrian safety and skills training. We do on bike, and we do off bike. So we can do one in the gym. We can do one on bikes. We have our first actually officially Safe Routes to School bike rodeo next week in Manchester. Other ones we've just been participating with Bike New Britain, NCAT, which is in New Haven, and we've also worked with Weathersfield Bike Safe, Walk Safe. So and we also do the pedestrian training, and the next slide shows you kind of the breakdown of an overview of kind of our themes. These are just themes that we have. We're also very open to anything that's suggested that you can work actually, and I didn't mention this last thing either. This is the thing is with all these programs, they're so varied, but we also are trying to get more into the to reach more teenagers. So that's something that we're really trying to work on as well, because most of our trainings are really geared for younger kids to date. So we have some ideas that we're going to work on over the summer. And the next slide. And this is the active transportation microgrants. Many of you are probably aware of them. NVCOG to date has gotten $253,000+ plus. They're a $5,000 non-competitive grant. that municipalities, communities, and nonprofits can apply for. The eligible items are listed there, everything from bikes to safety vests. And you can go for 2 grants in a 12-month period. The second grant can only be eligible for the second grant if you use all of the money, and we encourage communities to apply for all $5,000. So NVCOG has done awesome. You guys have gotten a lot of money, which means a lot of people are getting bikes and helmets and all that good stuff. And next slide. So thank you, NVCOG. And these are your programs that are in NVCOG to date. I don't know if this is 100% from the very beginning, but this is what we had on an interactive map. And so NVCOG is doing a great job of promoting biking and walking, and there's more to do, and that's why we keep coming to work every day. So next slide. That's just my contact. If you have any questions, that's our website. It's a standard DOT website, so you have to navigate. There's more information at the bottom if you click on like news or resources. I will mention one last thing I did mention last, because it's always not on my radar, but our state ranking with the Safe Routes to School partnership under Kristen's leadership and the team that has been working there has increased. I think we went up like 50 points. So we're like, I think we're like 12 for, I don't even know. I'm not gonna say any rankings because I don't know if they
Legal American Bicycle.
No, it's the Safe Routes to School National Partnership. So I put it on our website. We have like a scorecard. It's a state scorecard under, I think it's under news, maybe under resources. I don't update the website, so I just send it along and but that's good to hear because that means that we're moving the right direction and we want to keep going. I really want to catch up to Massachusetts people. They have a lot of work to do. They have like 100 coordinators and they have so many good resources. So anyways, thank you. And if you have any questions, email me or you could ask them now. But I've probably already spoken with most of you since I've been here, so thank you.
Thank you, Bridget. And
Yeah.
anyone, feel free. Does anyone have any questions? I know I was curious about the walk audit process and how long it might take, like if we were to request one to then scheduling it to then having it completed. How long might that take?
Well, I'll give you, we can get one almost within a week or two, as long as the school is on board and it's a regular dismissal day, so it has to be a full day. So like Litchfield said yes last week, and we're going there tomorrow. Because, so we can do the mapping, it's simple. Now, then after the walk audit, so that's like 1 week, and then probably till it's done, because it's been, it's like, you're like in the process, and we're like our 8th or 9th, we could probably get it done like 3 months, have it back to you. It's not that, because it's, we have a consultant working on it as well, so. Yeah.
And so essentially we'll probably have to wait until the new school year.
It has to be during school year, unfortunately. But I would recommend, because administrations work 12 months, to schedule it over the summer and get it. We have one scheduled in Greenwich for the fall because they didn't have enough time. So it's better to get it on the schedule, and you have to go through the principal. That's pretty much what the person that has to get buy-in. So, and we could do a presentation or meet with them.
Sure, okay, so now we know. That's great. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, so since the last time we met, our group has gone on this site visit or tour day with CTDOT. They are preparing the statewide active transportation plan right now. And each COG was invited to plan a tour of their region to showcase some of the more challenging areas for active transportation. So the tour wasn't really meant to highlight some of the really awesome things, but more of the things that need help, and maybe this new plan will and can address. I know a handful of folks in this room are on the tour, so please feel free to add anything I missed. And we started at Valley Transit District in Derby in the morning, and Aaron and Mark gave a great presentation about the Naugatuck River Greenway project that we're working on. It'll be a 44-mile trail from Derby to Torrington. And also, we talked a bit more about the other trail systems that we have, as well as how we're also doing this active transportation plan here. But essentially, we got on a Valley Transit bus and we made 6 stops throughout the day, 3 in the morning, 3 after lunch. We started at the Ansonia Derby Division Street line where the Naugatuck River Greenway crosses. And we met the superintendent of Public Works in Ansonia there before continuing on all the way up 115 to 67 through Seymour and Oxford to Southbury, where we met the mayor.
First select.
Sorry, first selectman of Southbury, who spoke a bit more about their plan, some of their challenges, also their community. Before we continued on to the Watertown Thomaston line. I don't know if you might want to add anything about the stop there.
No, it's just to highlight what one greenway section that opened by the river and explain a bit about our 2.3 mile section. We gotta go to Thomaston. That's quite interesting between the Waterbury water main, right away, the Naugatuck Railroad and the whole scenic side of Route 8. It's gonna be beautiful now once it's done. It's beautiful now. You can just walk up through the old water trail, but it's gonna be quite a thing. So we're looking forward to that coming to fruition. It's gonna take a while, but
Some of the things we highlighted were the missing connections between the trail segments. So that was yeah. We had lunch in Thomaston and then continued on to Plymouth along with Route 6 Main Street. And then we went on to Bristol. They're doing a lot of projects there, and then on to Waterbury on Route 69. And there's a lot of pedestrian activity, not a lot of sidewalks or sea crossings, so it was very varied. I think it really showcased how diverse the area is, different uses, different needs, even on the same route as you continue through the town. But please, anyone else want to add anything for folks that weren't there? I know Matt was there, Tayo, Rich, Aaron.
A lot of fun.
Yeah,
It rained all day, it was great.
yeah, right. But, like, and people still need to bike and walk in the rain, so. Do that one.
It only rained when we were outside.
Yes, the whole time
Yes,
we were on the bus, it was great. We
That's-
got off the bus before.
Yeah, but we did see pedestrians and cyclists at almost every stop,
Mhm.
Yeah.
even though it was raining
Yeah.
and not a nice day. So I mean, I think it just shows that, you know, people aren't walking because they want to, people
Yeah.
are walking because they need to,
Have to.
and,
Mhm.
you know. A lot of the issues we looked at, you know, are serious issues that, you know, we all need to address.
And importantly, we didn't just look at infrastructure problems. We talked a lot about policy and some of the impediments to getting to where we need to be. And you know, the project team, the active transportation unit and the project consultant were very receptive to a lot of the feedback we had to offer and a lot of the policy recommendations that we made. And so we're hopeful that kind of across the board from the state level down, we're able to see some of these changes to, you know, to better equip towns and regions to address these problems.
Agreed. And I don't know if anyone here can speak to where the CT active transportation plan is currently. I do know that they're looking for participants in their focus group right now.
That's what they're, yeah.
So I will share that link if anyone does want to participate. I think they're looking for a wide variety of folks, whether it is municipal staff or users of streets, so I will share that link if anyone's interested. Does anyone else want to share anything about this day or the state active transportation plan? Okay.
I'll just make a quick note,
Yeah.
that, a huge shout out to the amount of work Kate did putting that event together.
Yeah.
A ton of organization, a ton of background details, that all came together very well for a positive but wet day.
Yes. Yeah.
Good job, Kate.
Thank you so much.
I know you didn't get a lot of, or I remember some of the cogs going, what? I have like 2 weeks to plan this. It wasn't you guys.
Yeah, no, it's really good and everything came together and it was a really, like, hopefully it was very informative for this outcome of it.
It's also a little easier for us because we own buses. I think we're the only ones who have like direct access to
Yeah.
Mhm.
shared vehicles
Sweet.
like that, so.
Yeah,
That was,
and they presented the active transportation plan, I think you were there, they presented at the Bike Ped Advisory Board.
yeah,
on
so.
Friday, yeah.
So the statewide bike ped advisory committee meets once a month, and we had a really great update on this last meeting in May. From the project consultants on this statewide plan. We really are deep diving into this, so we'll ideally share out as it progresses and when it's finished. All right. Okay, so now onto our regional plan. We currently had 2 draft chapters around for review. And I'm filling in for Mark at this point, so I'll try my best to remember all the things that we wanted to cover. But we are open to discussion about any of these things. Chapter 1 really is just setting the scene. We created that vision statement a while ago, as well as the goals, which do reflect some of our NVCOG goals of progressing our vision zero goal by 2060, and obviously enhancing pedestrian and bicycle facilities, as well as looking towards a regional complete streets policy, which we do not have yet, but,
We do, it's just we.
oh, sorry, there we go. So, yeah, so amending that and moving forward. I know in this chapter, the first chapter, we did talk about some of those federal policy trends, some of the projects and programs that are funded under the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, as well as some of the Connecticut policy trends. We do talk about safe routes to school, complete streets policies, the CTDOT active transportation microgrant program. We do mention the Idaho stop. I believe there was a study about it that produced, there was the fact that I guess there's no results, either direction of allowing for turning right on red for cyclists. So I don't think they actually passed anything, because the study was kind of showcased that there wasn't any indication that you needed to do it or not either way.
Yeah, there were 2 separate
Okay.
items required under state
Okay.
law. The department had to do an evaluation of the Idaho stop and an
Mhm.
evaluation of a right turn on red policy. Both studies ended up with a result of no recommended action. And so neither have advanced into a modification of state law. But
Thank you for
that all came
clarifying
out of the
that.
Vision
One is-
Zero,
yeah.
the original Vision Zero bill.
One is that you can continue cycling, even if it is a red light, if it's safe for you to do so, because it will allow more visibility for you as a cyclist. Okay, and then the other thing was the e-bike rebate program that has been around. But if there's anything else that folks would like us to mention in that chapter, please do share or speak up.
I just want to throw out one additional item here, and I believe we talked about it in the chapter, but not on the slide, is that in addition to a Vision Zero goal and NVCOG, our board has adopted a VMT reduction goal, and a strategy behind achieving that. And this is pretty much the way that we achieve that. It is public transit and active transportation. This came off of Governor Lamont signed Executive Order 2103 back in 2021, which required the department to develop a statewide VMT reduction target. That was published in the spring of 2023, recommending a 5% reduction by 2030. And so we took that and adopted it and took it just a little bit further as a region, put together a full strategy, re-endorsed that 5% reduction target for our region, as well as listed out strategies, implementation strategies to help us get there. And this study is one of the major elements of that target. So just to make sure everybody is aware of that.
Is that 5% reduction total from like the direct operations, purchase transportation, or just like the whole entire transportation structure in general?
Everybody, everything. Yeah, so we as a region, we are just a little bit under 10% of the state's total VMT. We are a little under 11.5% of the region of the state's total population. So we already have a lower per capita VMT than most of the state. We would love to say that is the result of great public transit and active transportation, and the reality, it is mostly the result of lower access to car rates. So it's an economic result, not a infrastructure result. So our 5% reduction of a VMT for our region is a little bit less of a target than it is statewide. But we want to make sure that as the region revitalizes and the population grows, we don't see the opposite trend. Especially given that we do have weaker public transit and some very serious gaps in our active transportation network. So, but yeah, so I want to say it was 26 is the average daily VMT per person in our region. And so we would like to see that number reduced.
Okay, so does anyone else have any comments for this chapter? Any other questions? Okay, I'll continue to chapter 2. So this is a demographic chapter. We do talk a bit about each of the 19 municipalities' population, age, income, and then that means of transportation and the vehicle availability. We break down the each municipality into an urban core, inner ring communities, outer ring communities, and it's pretty much what it says. It's demographics. So it's pretty straightforward. Does anyone have any comments or questions? This graph here does show what the means of transportation to work for the region are, and as you can see, private vehicles are 85.3%. And as Rich just said, our goal that was adopted by our board is to reduce our vehicle miles traveled. So hopefully we can shrink that portion of the chart and grow the other options. Bicycles, again, it's very low, it's 0.1%. Walking is 1.6%, and then public transit usage is 1.5% as a means for commuting. And then working from home is 11.5%, so that is a little more significant.
As much as we would love to see this number change, it does put us well below the state and federal, or certainly, I'm sorry, the national private vehicle number, which is like 93%. So we at least have that going for us.
I'll put in a plug for CT Rides right now. It's a really great program that the state offers to encourage folks to use alternate means of transportation beyond private vehicles. There are single occupancy private vehicles. There's ability to use this app to look at public transit routes to work. There's also ability to carpool. I actually recently just saw a billboard for that from CT Rides. And you could kind of see who else in your region might be, or in your area is carpooling maybe to your same area. And they just completed this drive less challenge, so you could get points for taking public transit, walking, and or working from home. So you can still use that app all year long and still gain points, and then get fun prizes, enter to win gift cards or get coupons. I know some folks here actually have been carpooling. Danny is one of them.
Yeah, me and a coworker have been carpooling. We started with the presentation that they had here at the beginning of May, end of April, somewhere in there. And pretty much any day that's convenient for the two of us, we'll carpool together. So
reduce that BMT. I love it.
well, exactly, yeah.
50%.
Yeah, right.
Taya's also taking the bus, so.
Yes, taking the bus home today.
And taking the train sometimes, so I know it's not quite active, but the last portion is the walking bit from the train station here. And so onwards, we're currently compiling chapter 3, which is our existing conditions. We have been assessing our existing pedestrian facilities, bike networks, from trail networks to bike lanes, bike paths, multi-use trails, and then we're doing a safety assessment in this chapter. We have presented that crash data from the past 5 years at a previous meeting, looking at the hotspots for crashes, as well as when we did the active transportation survey in 2024. 508 people from around the region did respond, and we're looking at a lot of their comments. They were able to pinpoint a point on a map to say that this area is is of concern to them, and then also write in comments. So we've been looking at those comments as well and compiling where people are saying are issues, triangulating that too with that crash data information and the pedestrian and bike networks. And then, most recently for this chapter, I am doing a final sweep with municipalities to talk to each one about their biggest concerns for their active transportation networks. Also asking if they do have bike facilities that maybe we're not aware of. I know some folks have recently added some Sharrows in Shelton and in Waterbury and other, there might be other bike parking facilities that we're not aware of, we don't know. So it's just the final kind of triangulation of that data to make sure it's pretty conclusive, and then as we go into our recommendations. We'll also ask about complete streets policies, if anyone has adopted any on their municipal level. And really just hear from folks on the ground. But does anyone have any comments about this piece? Or anything we've mentioned so far? And this is our first active transportation plan, so we're starting, this is where we're starting from. And we'll build out as necessary. All right. So this point, it's pretty much the miscellaneous section. Folks can, if you participated in anything related to Bike Month and want to share it, you please feel free. I know we just wrapped up May as Bike Month. There was a lot of bike walk and roll to school. There's bike to work days. I don't know if anyone might want to share anything that they might have been involved with. Please feel free, even if anyone online as well might want to chime in. Do we have anyone? Okay.
I'm gonna use this opportunity then to jump on anything else. Tucker, if you're still there, would you be able to share an update on the like east-west trail concept and study we had been talking about?
Yeah, I'm here. As far as I know, there hasn't been any progress on that.
Is that waiting on federal funds? I forget what the funding program was for that.
It's the RAISE grant.
It is raised, okay. Yeah, unfortunately, we are in the same boat on a raised grant, so. We were talking about before this meeting started, we wrote these applications for the last administration. Whose priorities were the exact opposite, and everything we wrote to comply with their requirements sets us up to not be funded under this administration, so.
Right.
Fingers crossed that comes through, because we would love to see an active transportation connection between Waterbury and Danbury.
Yeah, it would be incredible.
Huge improvement. That bus public transit connection would go, yeah. And while we're on anything else, Amy, if you're still there, have the new signs started running it here in Waterbury?
Yes, they have. Yep, they started, I think they were first on the buses, so thank you for the connection to the bus line, but now we also have them at the bus stops in the shelters. And actually, if you give me a second, I will find what they look like, because they look amazing. And I'll throw it up there if you want to see.
Lunchtime activity, we're all gonna take a walk over to
Yeah.
to exchange booths and see the signs.
Yeah, they look fantastic. So they're targeted at pedestrian behaviors, and they are at some of the bus shelters while people are waiting, to kind of remind them that, you know, when you get off the bus, the cars may be flying by and they might not see you. So we're really happy with them. And so thank you for letting us do that. I still have to look around a bit. If I find it, I'll pipe back up.
Great. Yeah, we would like to extend a huge thank you to Watch For Me for their coordination with Waterbury. You know, we know Waterbury in our region is certainly the fatal crash hotspot for pedestrians and active users. It's also the hotspot for active transportation users. There's more pedestrian activity, and so but Watch For Me has been working closely with the city and with us on a few initiatives, including getting these new signs. So we are very appreciative of that.
We are happy to do so. Thank you.
In the meantime, Kyle, do you wanna give a quick update about this next round of active transportation microgrants and maybe when the deadline is?
Okay, yes, thank you very much. So the next round of the active transportation microgrants will end at the end of this month. Applications are due with CTDOT on the 27th of June. We do encourage that applications be submitted about a week before then so that we can collate and send everything as one attachment. So I encourage you to reach out to your municipalities, nonprofits, parks and rec, police departments, health districts, schools and school districts. So kindly send in your applications for $5,000 here and there. We started to see the impacts, bikes being bought, distributed across our region. And we're excited about that. I'll be attending one tomorrow for a nonprofit. There's one in July in Ansonia.
Is that the?
Yeah,
Santa-
the Santa,
Christmas and
Christmas
Joy
and Santa. It's in July. And so, we're excited about this. As I speak, I have 20 applications for $100,000 for this quarter. I want us to keep pushing and please reach out to the aforementioned people or entities in your municipalities. So please send in your applications. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Tyler's gonna
Thank you.
totally dry up this fund for the next several years on our behalf, so.
Yes, you are.
That's fantastic.
I told everybody, I'm like, you better get moving because NVCOG is getting a lot of applications, so.
Just saying, every dollar that comes here is a dollar that comes
Good.
here.
Yeah.
As opposed to- So, yeah. That is,
Good.
it's a fantastic program, and between Tayo and the communities, we've had a lot of success with it. No reason to slow down.
And it's a
Thank
good
you.
connection to Bridget and Safe Routes to School. if you
Yes.
need any
Yes.
as well.
Cause I will say that for the Ansonia Health Fair, were they a recipient of the micro grant? I'm not sure, but they got a bunch of bikes. I did not attend, but every single bike was flat. So if we hadn't been there, I didn't go, the kids would have gone home with a flat bike. So, cause bikes sitting in storage over time, so that's something that really, that's kind of another reason why we're really pushing that we attend some of these, because we'll bring the bike pumps, we can adjust the helmets, so. Anyways, anecdotally, I think they had won that micro grant. They were definitely handing out bikes.
That's the one they held in the Baptist church?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, they
yeah,
used
yes.
that venue. It was
Yes.
another nonprofit that used that venue.
Yeah,
Yes, you're correct.
so. So let us know tomorrow. I'm gonna borrow my bike pump.
Trouble at all.
I think I do.
Hey, Amy, did you wanna share your screen or send a link to the signs?
It's not a link, it's in my email, so I will share. The sharing is disabled, so if you wanna, is it possible?
You should be able to share, not me.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's see. This will be real quick, but they are so cool. You seeing them? So this, I'm not sure where
Yeah.
this is. AV nails. So we have buses are predictable, cars aren't, and then we have it in English and Spanish. So, and then the other one is buses stop, cars may not. And then so you see kind of the movement of the car. And so it's when you get off the bus, look for cars because they might not be looking for you. So, oh, and then there's one more here. So they are up and we love them.
Great.
Yeah, they look
Yeah.
excellent.
Oh, there's one more. Here we go. Yeah. So very excited about that. Thanks, everybody.
Fantastic.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, so this was the first time you've done bus shelters, yes? That's right?
Yes, we've never done this before, and I think it's a great idea, especially in those really congested areas where there's a lot of pedestrians getting on and off buses. Like I could think of a few areas in Hartford that could use this. So we may work this into kind of a broader plan around the state in the coming year. And I'm forwarding this email to you so you have these pictures.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks for letting us have you guys as guinea pigs. As I said, this is in partnership with the bus company that actually has signs on the bus that basically say around the same sort of thing. So we're really trying to hit people while they're sitting there, waiting for the bus or once they're on the bus.
Fantastic. Yeah, it looked like a lot of those were East Main Street too, which is one of the more active crash locations here in the city.
Oh,
so.
absolutely. Yeah.
Does anyone else have any active transportation related news? I know Trails Day is coming up. Yeah, does anyone have anything going on in their municipality? You might know of or want to share? Anything else?
The state is holding their trail, or the Connecticut Greenways Council is holding their trails event on Friday at, I think, 10 o'clock at Riverfront Recapture Boathouse in Hartford. So they're gonna be giving out some awards. The Connecticut Trails program at UConn is receiving an award. And we're a partner on that project, so excited about that. And there's gonna be a
Cool.
walk along the river and stuff afterwards too, so it's a good event. And
Great.
usually free bagels, so.
Nice.
Where are the bagels from? That's the most. important
Well,
question.
I don't know, I can't vouch for that, but.
It's like pizza, very personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright, well, congratulations on for that.
Yes.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, okay, so I think we will go on to the last bit, which is when we'll meet next. It's the second Wednesday of July, a bit after the holiday, at 11 a.m. And we'll have a virtual option as well. From between now and then, we should be able to send around a draft for the existing conditions, at least, potentially. I'm not 100% certain, but, as this month proceeds, I'll be having those conversations with municipalities to add them into the report. But we're moving along. And yeah, so does anyone else have anything they'd like to share before we wrap it up? Okay.
No, please do take a look at our chapters 1 and 2. Feedback from this group will be really valuable, and we would love to incorporate it at this stage now, so we can, as we get into future conditions and recommendations, we can have those included already.
Cool. All right, appreciate everyone attending and have a great rest of your day and month ahead.
Thank you.